Hi guys, today we will explain how to use a new command like hatch. Hatch to apply hatch in a closed area. You can find this command draw hatch. If you open AutoCAD, we have here draw hatch or H enter, I think. Anyway, hatch will be used to hatch a closed area. So H enter, we have different scenarios to call your command. Draw hatch or H enter, or you can find it from this little icon. It's located here. Hatch. That makes sense? So, for example, if you draw a closed area like rectangle, like this one, and then you call hatch from this way, or draw hatch or H enter. The first step, you need to pick up an internal point of the closed area. If you try to click here, does not work, because you must have a closed area. So I will click inside this rectangle. Then enter. I hatched this closed area with inclined lines. One more time. H, enter. By the way, you can select what is the pattern you are looking for. If you don't like these, we have more. We have more. So if you select a solid, or you select whatever the shape, this one, then click here, and then enter. You hatched this area by the selected pattern. One more time, if you select this hatch and delete, you can delete it. So H enter. Go ahead and select your pattern. After you select your pattern, for example, we are going to use concrete, for example. Then go ahead and click inside the rectangle. If you agree with this shape, go ahead and push enter. If you don't agree, sometimes we need to change the scale. Looks like your hatch is very big related to the closed area. If you choose this scale to be 0.1, for example, then enter, your hatch became smaller. Do you agree? If you agree with the final shape, go ahead and push enter. You are done. One more time. If you select your hatch, you can delete it. Draw hatch. I will select the pattern. For example, this one, big. And then click inside this rectangle. Do click. If you agree, push enter from your keyboard, you are done. If you don't agree, you can change the scale to make it smaller or bigger. You can change the color if you want. You can change the pattern if you want, scale, if you angle. If you make it 45-degree enter, the brick will be oriented with 45 degrees. So we have pattern, we have color, we have scale, we have angle. I will change it to be 0. If you agree, the final conclusion, you have to push enter, you are done. Excuse me. You have a circle and hatch. And I'm gonna select, for example, this one. Click. You have to select the area by picking a point. Click. Hey, looks like the hatch is very small. So go ahead and adjust the scale. Make it 0.5. Enter. Still small, make it 1, enter, bigger. You know what I mean? If you would like to make it inclined with angle 45 degree, change the angle. If you agree, go ahead and enter. So sometimes you need to make your hatch smaller scale. Sometimes you need to make it bigger scale. So I cannot say all the time we are using a specific value for a scale based on the pattern you are using. So draw hatch for this little icon or H enter. You can select your hatch pattern. You can select your color. You can select your angle or change your angle. You can select or change your scale. That makes sense? The same meaning for another command called gradients. Gradients is just painting. You are doing a coloring. Draw gradient, this little icon, or GD, enter. Let's see. I will delete this hatch and this hatch. We have here gradient. How can I get it? From draw, gradient. Or if you open this little arrow beside hatch, you can find gradient. Or GD, enter, you got it. Select the pattern. The pattern, you need to make coloring. For example, this one, this pattern. And then select the two colors that will be painted like this pattern. So I will select the green and I will select the yellow. If you click here and then enter, you painted, you colored this area with two colors, green and blue, using this pattern. Sometimes you can switch this pattern. Sometimes we have different pattern like this. So gradient is used to make coloring if you want. Okay? And the coloring between two colors. And you can choose the pattern you are going to use. And you select the two colors. And that's all. So one more time. Gradient or GD enter or draw gradient. Select your pattern. For example, I'm gonna select this pattern. Select the two colors, red and blue. Then select your area by clicking at any point inside this closed area. If you try to click here, will not work. You have to click inside a closed area. Click, you are agree, everything is okay. Enter, you are done. Sometimes we need to use this command. The next command, which is very important in AutoCAD, is move. Hey, you will say, hey, I can push the wheel of the mouse and move the drawing. No, this is not the required. You are moving the whole sheet of your drawing. Everything in your screen is moving. But I mean, by this command, if you have a little circle like this one, and I need to move it from here to be inside this rectangle. If you push your mouse, if you push the wheel of the mouse and move it, the whole drawing is moving. This is not the intended. We need to move this circle to be inside this rectangle. This command, move, you can call it from modify, move, or this little icon, or enter. After you call the command, AutoCAD will ask you few questions, 3 questions. And you need to answer this question in the same order. Select the object you need to move. Specify base point on the object by mouse. specify the second point where you want to move to. Let's try. So I will call it from draw. I'm sorry, modify, move, this one, or this little icon, move, or enter. First question, select object you need to move. I will select this circle by click or making window like this. Then enter. Base point, specify base point where you will hold this circle at any point, for example, this one. Then you will find your circle can be moved anywhere. Just move your mouse. Come here, for example, and move and do another click. Then I moved the circle from this position to this position. Keep in your mind, when you call the command move, AutoCAD will ask you 3 questions. First, you have to select the object you need to move and then enter. Second, you need to click on this object at any point or sometimes a specific point. We will discuss this later. Then you need to do another click at the position you need to move to. Does that make sense? Let's try it one more time. Move. We have 3 questions. First question, select object. You can find the question beside your mouse. Select object. I will click on this one, then enter. Then specify base point. You can select this circle at this center, click. Then your circle is ready to be moved anywhere. So you need to click where you need to move the circle to. Does that make sense? If you have a vertical line, I would like to draw a vertical line, so I will make the ortho mode on. I draw a vertical line. Then I need to move this circle at the top of the line. So I will call move, enter. Select your circle, enter. Base point, where can I hold this circle? If you hold it at any point and you try to adjust it here, you cannot. You cannot. You are kidding. You are kidding. Yeah, looks like it's here, but it's not 100%. What should I do? Enter. Select your object, enter. When you are holding this circle, I recommend it to hold the circle at the quadrant at the bottom. So when you move it, you need to move it at the end of this line. So you are making sure 100% the 2 points are at the same location. This is the example. When you are picking up the base point, you are picking up at a specific point. When you are selecting the second point where you need to move to, you need to select a specific point. For example, another example. If you have these 2 lines, one horizontal and one vertical, and you have this rectangle, we need to move this rectangle to be at this corner. So enter. If you select this rectangle, enter, you select this rectangle at any point, and the rectangle can be moved. How can I make this rectangle at this corner exactly like this? Looks like yes, but if you go closer, no, you are kidding. So what should I do? Enter, select your rectangle, enter. You need to pick up this rectangle at this specific point, this corner. Then you need to put this point, the second point at this corner. So you are making sure 100% the 2 points at the same location. So your rectangle was moved. That makes sense? So this is for move. Copy is creating more copies. This one is moving. If you move your circle from one position to another position, the circle is over. It's moved. But copy will make a copy for your object. You can call this command from modify, copy, or this little icon, or CO. Remember, C, enter is a circle. CO, enter is a copy. Command. After you call the command, AutoCAD will ask you 3 questions. Select your object you need to copy, then enter. Select a base point from your object by click, and then specify the second point by click also. Excuse me. So let's try. We have a circle. I need to make many copies from this circle. Modify, copy, or this little icon, copy, or CO, enter. The first question, select object. I will select this circle. Enter. Base point, I will catch or hold this circle at this point, any point. You are ready. If you click here, you did a copy. If you click here, you did another copy. If you click here, you did another copy, another copy, another copy, another copy, another copy. Are you done? Skip. This is command copy. Modify, copy, or this little icon, or CO, enter. Does that make sense? That makes sense? So, for example, if you have a line, vertical line, so I will make the ortho mode on with a distance 5. So this line has a distance 5. I will create copy for this line. We'll hold it from here. If you move in this direction and write 2, you did a copy at 2. If you write 6, you will do another copy at 6 meters from the origin, from the original copy, from the original object. Then enter another copy. One more time. One more time. You can make a copy at a specific distance. CO, enter. The AutoCAD will ask you 3 questions. Select object, enter. Base point, I will catch or hold the line from this point. So the AutoCAD is waiting for the next point where you will put your copy. I will not click. I will write 5, enter. That means you did a copy at distance 5. If you put 7, enter, the next copy will be 7 from the original object. If you did 10, enter, another copy. Does that make sense? If you have a circle and you need to make many copies at the top of these lines, I will CO, enter, select this object, enter, hold or base point at the bottom quadrant, then put it here at the end point, at the end point, at the end point, at the end point. Skip. Call the command again, CO, enter. I will select this circle or this object, enter. I will select the top quadrant. Make a copy here at this end point, this end point, this end point, and this end point. What do you think? Looks good. So sometimes when you are doing a copy, I will pick up a base point at a specific point, and I will select the second point at a specific point. So far, we learned how to move object from one place to another place. We learned how to make copy for an object with different copies. We have another command here called chamfer. Chamfer will be used to erase extra objects or extra lines, or in general, to adjust the corner of two intersected lines. I will not say clean up, because sometimes we need not to clean up, but to adjust the corner. We will see. Chamfer can be called from modify chamfer, the main menu, modify chamfer, or this little icon, or CHA enter. So if we have this horizontal line with distance 5 and this vertical line with distance 5, modify, we have here chamfer, or this little icon, chamfer. Where is chamfer? Doesn't exist. Anyway, or CHA. Actually, chamfer can be found here beside fillet. You can open this little arrow, you can find chamfer. Okay? So once you called the command, AutoCAD will ask you two questions. Specify the first line, specify the second line. So here is the first line, here is the second line, nothing happened. Yes, you need to adjust your setting. What you mean? CHA enter. Before selecting the first line, you have to adjust your distance, because the first distance is 0, the second distance is 0. What you mean? I mean, just click distance and define the first distance 1, enter, the second distance 1, enter, then go ahead and select the first line and the second line. The chamfer will do adjustment to this corner. Does that make sense? I will explain it here. If you have this line and this line, you have to define what is the first distance and what is the second distance to start to do this chamfer, and then delete these parts. That makes sense? So we need to define first the first and the second distance, D number 1 and D number 2. One more time. If I delete these two lines, we have a horizontal line with distance 10, vertical line with 10, skip. I will call the command chamfer. Before selecting the first line and the second line, please remember what was the distance. So click on distance. The first distance is 1. Do you agree? No, I needed 2.5. Enter. The second distance will be 2.5. Do you agree? If you agree, go ahead and push enter. If you don't, I will put 1, for example. So the first distance will be assigned to the first selection, and the second distance will be assigned to the second selection. Here is the chamfer. So this horizontal distance here, 2.5. And this vertical distance here, 1. That makes sense? Sometimes we have this line and this line. We need to remove this extra part and this extra part. Hey, if you select this part and delete, you are going to delete the whole line. No, I need to delete only this part. And I need to delete only this part. It's very easy. Chamfer can do this. Chamfer, I will select the distance and write the first distance is 0, enter. The second distance is 0, enter. I will select this line from this part. I will select this line from this part. The extra parts will be deleted. One more time. I have lines like this with extra parts. I need to delete these extra parts. I cannot select them because if you select this extra part, will select the whole line. Chamfer will help you to figure this out. Once you select chamfer, if you cannot select the distance, just write D, enter. The AutoCAD will adjust the setting and asking you for the first distance. 0, enter. Second distance, 0, enter. And then select this line from this part and this line from this part. The other parts will be deleted. That makes sense? These are the two most important uses for chamfer. The next command is called fillet. Fillet looks like chamfer, will adjust the corner, but making a fillet. If you have this line and this line, I can make fillet by a curve between the two lines and then remove these parts. You can call this command from modify, fillet, or you can get it from this little icon or F, enter. Let's try. L, enter. I will draw horizontal line with distance 5, vertical line with distance 5. I will call the command from modify, fillet, or this little icon, fillet, or F, enter. AutoCAD will ask you specify first line or second line. No, I will select radius. Why? Because this fillet, this curve will have a radius. You need to define it. So I will select radius first and define the radius equal 1, for example. Then I will select the first line, the second line. You are done. That makes sense? One more time. Fillet. Don't select any object until you adjust your radius. So I will select R, radius, or write R, enter. So AutoCAD will ask you, what is the radius? If you select, for example, 2, enter. Then select the first line, the second line. You did a curve with a radius 2. Sometimes you have lines like these. So the lines with extra parts, and you need to do fillet. Fillet can do it in one time. So fillet, I will define the radius, 1.5, for example, enter. If you selected this line from this part and this line from this part, the extra parts will be deleted, and at the same time, you can do fillet. That makes sense? So this is the main purpose of fillet. Don't forget to define your radius. For chamfer, don't forget to adjust your distance. In chamfer, we need 2 distances. But in fillet, we need only 1 radius. I will do practice in the next video. So just follow me. Thank you.